Hello everyone, my name is Zenitsu and I'm back with another Digimon spoilers video. So we got quite a couple of cards to go over today, so let's just dive right in. First up we have this blue Padamon. So we already got Angemon color shifted to blue, so it only makes sense that Padamon is also going to get a color shifted to blue version of him also. So seeing this card isn't necessarily that big of a surprise, or it shouldn't come as a shock to anyone. But what's interesting is the fact that they chose to make this Padamon a vanilla with some relatively high DP. So for a rookie, it has some relatively high DP, so it's definitely an interesting card to think about when you are building your deck, because he does have 0 to Digivolve, so he's not necessarily a bad rookie. And his DP is relatively high, so it could possibly dodge some removal. So it's not like this card is like that bad. It's just interesting the fact that they chose to make this one a vanilla card. And then next we have Penguinmon. So Penguinmon is another vanilla. We've seen these stat lines kind of similarly before, but essentially what the card is doing is this isn't a card you necessarily want to Digivolve into, because it does have a relatively higher Digivolve cost than some other Digimon, but as the trade-off, it does have some relatively higher stats, and its cost is about on average compared to a lot of other rookies. So Penguinmon is definitely going to be a really powerful rookie to just play for the cost, and because it has higher DP, it is a little bit harder for the opponents to remove. And as such, that means Penguinmon can stay on the field, so that way you have a safer base to just Digivolve off of if you're not Digivolving off of a Digitama, because obviously you don't necessarily want to pay the evolution cost because it is more expensive than some other options. So it's not like we haven't seen these two stat lines before, they're just kind of there, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, because as we see, a lot of vanilla cards are still seeing lots of play. Next, moving on to some more spoilers that we got. We got Gyroman. So Gyroman is a pretty interesting level 5 in which he has the inheritable ability during your opponent's turn. This Digimon gets 1000 DP. So he's kind of meant for more of those like mega blockers where the whole idea is for them to get a DP bonus. But it's not necessarily just good in there, because during the opponent's turn, getting a DP buff is kind of relevant depending on the matchup, because they could try to neg it, and this could potentially get it out of some certain ranges, or if they have more specified removal for lower DP, then this again just makes it really hard for the opponent to try to get rid of it. So it's a pretty interesting card. We've seen something kind of similar like this before with the Black Caramon, so you could potentially use these two in combination to buff the DP passively on the opponent's turn by 2000. So it's just pretty interesting to think about there. But in terms of its stats, it's just your average level 5. It's not really doing anything else too special. And then next we have Tankmon. So Tankmon is yet again another vanilla card. The stat line is something we've already seen before in like Dark Tyrannomon for red, but this stat line is actually really important because it has a low evolution cost. So for its level, having a low evolution cost is really important because it helps you get to your ultimates and megas faster. And that's the end goal for a lot of decks, is to hit that level 6 or level 7 mega. And having cards that are very efficient to play is very good. Now, he does have a higher initial cost, but as such, he has a higher DP as a result. And having a high DP isn't necessarily a bad thing, because, again, it makes it a little bit harder for the opponents to remove. So right now in black, the only other card that is like an efficiency evolution card in the champion slot is Numamon, and I think Tankmon is just going to see a lot more play over Numamon, but Numamon does have the slight edge on having a low, like a really low initial cost for a champion, so you could feel safer just raw playing this card or digivolving into this card because it's just so cheap to play for its level. but I definitely think Tankmon is going to see quite a bit of play in a lot of these black Mega Turbo decks. And lastly, we have Necrophobia. So Necrophobia is a 5-cost purple option with the main ability of being able to play one level 5 purple Digimon from your trash without paying its cost, and then that Digimon that was played off of this ability does not get their when played effect. So this is just kind of like another purple Reanimator card. It's not like we haven't seen this type of effect before, but this time it's targeting level 5 purple Digimon. So right now, level 5 purple Digimon hasn't really been doing a whole lot for the most part, but a card like this gets more powerful over time, and obviously this is more meant to be played with something like Arukenimon and Mummymon because they have when attacking abilities. Even though when you play them, they won't be able to attack for the turn, it's still the fact that you're playing a level 5 for a discount out of your trash, and that's still a very, very powerful thing. And if at least Arukenimon or Mummymon are your targets and they manage to stick on the board, then next turn you'll be able to get their when attacking skill and kind of like start going off. But this card becomes really, really good, especially when you combo it with something like Lilithmon and the purple Mimi to basically just give it a whole bunch of discounts. And then the level 5 purple Digimon you're reviving doesn't necessarily matter that much, although you'd prefer it to be a really good Digimon. So I think like this purple Reanimator memory conservation deck is definitely slowly starting to form, and this is going to be a really, really great card for that deck. So that's kind of all of the spoilers that we got over the past couple of days. I know it's been relatively light, and I'm still trying to debate if I should be doing single days or if I should be doing batches. So feel free to tell me your thoughts down on the comments below. And while you're there, tell me your thoughts about any of the cards down in the comments below. And as always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe for more content, and I will see you in the next video.